is a show that focuses on the person behind the Brony. I'm your host, Osaka Jack. Please sit back and relax as we talk to this week's guest Brony. Hello everyone, this is Osaka Jack with Into the Spotlight on Everfree Network. Today with me I have someone who I have met in person, but only once, unfortunately. Lilytrader, hello.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing fabulous.
Wonderful. That's good. Now you've instantly got me thinking Stephen Magnet voice.
My mustache.
Honestly, I do not know why. Well, no, I know why, but I think we should start having Stephen Magnet mustaches available at cons. Just attached to some, tape that'll stick to your skin for an hour or so.
Yeah, or on a stick. That works too.
Yeah, on a stick. Yeah, Stephen Magnet on a stick.
It's brilliant. We'll sell millions.
Yes. Ooh, I'm behind this idea already. I think Stephen Magnet mustaches would sell. We need these to be made. We need these to be produced, and we need these to be distributed.
And we know people that make things, so
Ooh.
I'm particularly adept at making sticks.
Yes, I have access to a lot of chopsticks.
And I'm pretty sure Joy is pretty good at making, would be very good at making a rarity tail.
Interesting. This is
With
doable,
right
people.
side.
This can replace fedoras as the main item of clothing at a convention.
Yes.
Well, I hinted at it, but yes, I met you at Everfree Northwest.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. But that's... Well, okay, that might have been my first and only pony convention, but you're an old hand at these things.
Well, I'm an old hand at conventions in general.
Yeah.
But that was my second pony convention.
Mm-hmm.
The first one being Everfree Northwest 1, which was a lot of fun.
I like naming the... I think we should start naming conventions, not years, but movie titles. Like The Return, Revenge of, Son of, and Return of the Revenge of the Son of Everfree Northwest. And...
Everfree Northwest, The Quickening.
There can be only one a year, so make sure you attend. Which other conventions have you been able to attend?
Specifically pony ones, or?
Well, no, any of them.
Oh, any of them. Yeah. Well, there's a local convention here called NorwestCon that I've been going to since I was 16 years old.
Oh, wow.
So, long history with that one. Lots of my friends and family have been staff.
Oh, okay.
At said convention.
You scared me so badly there because Skype did a small flub, and I swear you said stabbed. Like, holy this is the most dangerous convention. Why would you go back to a convention that you get stabbed? Okay, no.
It's KnifeyCon.
Bunch of bladey fun. Come and join us.
That's right.
Hi.
It's a good time for the whole family.
Yeah. They have lots of sharp cheddar on sale. Okay, sorry. I will stop with the knife puns very soon. Yeah, so I take it that's one of the smaller cons, though.
They are... I want to say there are roughly 2,000 to 3,000 people.
Oh, never mind. That's the large one. Okay.
I've been corrected. They average 3.
Average 3. Okay. 1,000.
Yes.
Just 3. Me and 2 friends go and hang out and rent a convention hall.
Yeah, it's really expensive, but it's worth it.
I have heard there are some things that I do not like about hearing his behavior, but Elvis Presley would rent an entire theater to watch a movie with only his friends. And just for that alone, I find the man to be a genius.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. Don't have to worry about anybody shouting or movie starting at the wrong time. Just rent it for the night. Watch it as you want to. That would... Oh, yes.
He could eat his peanut butter banana sandwiches in peace. And
I don't care what anybody says. Those are fantastic. I love those as well.
They sound pretty tasty.
They're not my favorite, but yes, I do love a grilled peanut butter sandwich, and adding bananas only makes everything better. What are some of the other conventions you attend? I'm thinking recently, wasn't there some problem with you do vending at a lot of the conventions?
At a few of them, yeah.
And
well, it wasn't. I don't. It's not really a problem.
Okay.
In fact, it's very good for them.
Mm-hmm.
But they, one of the local conventions, Rainforest, which is a furry convention, every year I've been that I've brought, I make sketchbooks.
Right.
Like for people to actually draw in, as opposed to like collections of my stuff.
Sure.
They have sold out every year. I've gone there with boxes of sketchbooks and left with nothing.
Wow.
And,
okay.
and it's been fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But they've grown a little bit over the years, and this year they announced that the pre-registration for dealers was open, and they sold out in 2 hours.
Whoa!
Yeah, so I feel bad for anyone that was like at work.
Yeah.
Or just in some situation where they couldn't log in immediately, like right. They were sniping an eBay bid or something.
Yeah, I understand that they're, first come, first serve is probably the best way to do it. But yeah, if you're selling out in 2 hours, there needs to be like a lottery system or something for people who are in different time zones or unable to use the computer immediately or something. Right.
Well, hopefully they'll expand like Artist Alley.
Yeah.
And make that available to folks. But
yeah.
We'll see. It was, I don't know, Artist Alley was pretty big, but it wasn't, it didn't seem big enough last year to handle the people that might have missed out.
Okay.
But on the other hand, it's great for the convention because they sold out.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible for a, I always say local con like that some kind of makes it small. but when you're there, when you're at Rainforest, it doesn't feel like a very large convention.
Sure.
And so even though I bet they have the numbers to definitely not be one of the smaller ones, but it doesn't feel like it when you're there, which is pretty neat. Which makes, I mean, it was great for me because this year at Everfree, it was so crowded.
Yeah.
There were so many people, and that's not really my thing. I usually stay away from the larger conventions.
Okay.
Like NorwestCon, it works out because the hotel it's in is this huge sprawling thing.
Okay.
And it's multiple floors, and all the convention events are spread out, and so it doesn't feel like you're trying to pack yourself into a local sports ball or game or something.
Sure.
In a stadium, which sometimes that can happen at cons.
Right.
I went to anime, or one of the anime conventions locally called SakuraCon. And they went from being this little, our first year we had 400 guests, yay! And then now it's like a trade show. Okay. It's just crazy. You walk in there and it's wall to wall people.
I would imagine that having in different floors and sprawling areas, I would imagine that's better for keeping a smaller con feel to it. But at the same time, I'm sure there are going to be some locations that just get overlooked. Like that one restaurant that nobody goes to, but everybody sees, and it changes 5 times in a year.
Yep.
I would imagine there are some artists that, everybody sees them, but nobody stops at that table for some reason or another.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. It's funny, NorwestCon doesn't have, like, a lot of fandoms, especially Pony. I'll use Pony fandom in general. Because it's, I want to say, I'll just use it for the term it is. It's a niche fandom.
Sure. Because
it's based on this one thing.
Right.
Where NorwestCon is like a general sci-fi fantasy convention.
Okay.
And so it doesn't attract a lot of it tends to attract more writers than artists.
Okay, I see.
And so because there's not this fan art fandom completely built around it.
Sure.
And because it's too broad.
Right.
Where pony cons, there you go. I imagine, like, when I walked through the dealer's room, I would say 90% of the people there were selling art or taking commissions and such, and it's kind of a unique thing. as convention dealers. Like you go to Norwestcon, you're going to find more dealers that are selling cosplay material.
Okay.
And booksellers.
Right. Okay.
Lots and lots and lots of booksellers.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, Everfree Northwest was actually my first con, so I have no basis for comparison. So.
Oh, okay. Nice. Well, that's a good one to start with.
Oh, good. Yay. As of recording this, next one will be in 3 weeks, going to Japan PonyCon in Tokyo. Woohoo! Which is going to be much smaller, but...
I think it's going to be awesome, though.
I hope so, yes. I'm really looking forward to it.
I think it's really cool, and I hope you take lots of vines.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I was planning on just photos, but... Well, actually, we have been told that a lot of the Japanese bronies who are going to be there, artisan one, they are much more hesitant to have their image publicly known.
Oh, yeah.
Shown. So, as long as I can get permission, then yes, I'll do vines and pictures and stuff. But
definitely,
I don't want to be a creepy. I took this vine and he never saw me.
Don't be that guy.
No, do not want to be that guy. I'm already stared at enough for being the foreigner. I don't want to be the creepy foreigner.
Yes.
Let somebody else take that mantle. I'm done with it.
I served my time. My dues are paid.
There's a common phrase, well, not common, but when I first came to Japan, there was a phrase in our area called "Welcome to the zoo," and we never meant that you were visiting.
Here's your cage.
Pretty much. If you're lucky, they'll throw peanuts at you.
So are your fellow employees there that you work with at the school, are they also American or not Japanese?
Well, it's small school that I work at, so it's only me and one other teacher. The owner is our boss, and she's Japanese. Part-time staff is Japanese, and the other teacher is Canadian. So we have, American English and Canadian English, which are remarkably similar.
Yep.
Well, I guess I should have gotten to it earlier, but if somebody doesn't know, what do you do in general? Beyond just attending conventions and...
Well, I like to show up here and there. And I do pony fan art.
Okay. Not just pony fan art, but...
No, but I mean, that's ostensibly, I guess that's why I'm on the show.
Well, you do art.
I do art in general. I'm someone that grew up drawing, left it behind, and because of ponies, took it up again.
Oh, that's impressive.
So I'm one of the Hallmark stories.
Welcome back, our artist son.
Yes. I was home in time for Christmas.
Do you happen to remember what was it that made you stop? Or was it just a general blasé attitude over time?
It's kind of... I went to, like a lot of people, I went to school, went off to school, did that, got caught up in getting all the certifications and getting your degree and getting a job, making a name for yourself, and it just... It takes up all your time.
Sure.
And I got in on an industry that was emergent.
Okay.
And so it literally did take up all my time. I spent so many nights sleeping in the lobby of where I worked that,
oh, geez.
I didn't make a very high wage, but I made bank.
Okay.
During those initial years. It was like during the .com boom.
Right.
And large format inkjet stuff was just coming out, and to the point where you could print on different materials and do all this crazy stuff, and we could drape entire skyscrapers and a cover to cover up construction. And so that's what I did, and it took up all my time.
Nice.
And for the last 20 years it took up all my time, and I always kind of noodled about, but it was pretty aimless because you come home from work and you've been doing graphic design all day, and it starts to feel like your job.
Sure.
I'm like, oh, I have to be creative again. I don't want to do this.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, the quickest way to get somebody to stop doing something is, well, not quickest, but the most effective way to get somebody to stop doing something is pay them to do it.
Yes. It's. I'm actually glad you said that because it's one of the reasons why I do a lot of requests for friends, but I don't take commissions.
Gotcha.
Mostly it's just it's kind of it's a multi-layered, deep subject.
It's an onion. Okay. Sorry.
It's right, but I think it essentially just comes down to then it does start to feel like my job.
Yeah.
And if I was going to do that, I might as well just go to work and make more for doing less.
Yeah.
And then this way I keep it nice and, my friends want something. Half the time they don't even ask, I just do it. Or someone will say, oh, I can't believe this person doesn't have an OC. And it's like, well, let's fix that. Which a lot of people do on Twitter, which is I guess Twitter is definitely my inroad into pony fandom because that's kind of the only place I'm active.
Okay.
In fandom. And so it's really neat to watch it happen.
Sure.
And to see this entire fandom just be completely full of people that will just do it.
Yeah.
Like they don't have to be asked. It's just someone's like, oh, JetBlue needs a OC pony, and it's like 18 people or just immediately start posting drawings. They're like, how do you even do that?
I know I've been shocked. There have been a few people during one of my interviews. At some point, I'll make a joke or I'll say, "Oh, this needs to be a pony," and occasionally somebody will actually make one. I'm like, "Oh my god, you made it! That's so cool! Thank you!"
And does it happen during the span of the show?
No. It doesn't happen during the span of the show yet. Not yet that I've noticed. But then again, it's not technically aired live, so okay.
Well, yeah, but
that would be interesting. I'd be interested to see if somebody can come up with a Stephen Magnet thing by the end of this interview. Ready? Go!
Get to work, people.
Come on, hurry up, go. Okay.
Time is fabulosity.
You know what? Okay, no, I'm seeing it. All of a sudden, yeah. We make a watch with Stephen Magnet's face on it, and each part of the mustache is a different hand. And it goes all the way around, and just when it hits the hour, fabulous. Oh, it's 3:00. Okay.
Everyone hates you at midnight.
Oh yes. Start hating myself at midnight. Please turn the fabulous off. It's not time for fabulous. It's time for sleep.
And I think we both know that somewhere on the internet is a company that prints up watch faces and will put them in the watch styling of your choice.
I can guarantee you that there's one that does it for clocks, because I have seen at least 5 Madoka clocks in some of the Crane Game shops that I've been to.
Oh, yeah.
And they're fabulous. And I really kind of want them, but at the same time, like, no.
Okay. Okay, so I have a new project. I need to make a quick note here.
Make a clock. Okay. Make a watch. Right.
I know. I'll wake up tomorrow and I'll have this little note that says "fabulous watch." What does it mean?
Do you do that as well? Do you keep a notepad by your bed?
I used to.
Okay.
But I kept waking up with notes that made no sense.
Yeah, I do that as well. And it's not so much anything. It's just occasionally I'll have a really impressive dream that I want to remember, and I know that I won't beyond a few seconds. So I'll write something down. I've got one note that's just stuck with me for a long time. Thunder Bunny. It was a dream of this just cute plush rabbit that donned a Robin-type domino mask and became Thunder Bunny, the superhero. The dream didn't last long enough for me to find out what Thunder Bunny's superpower was, but just the name stuck with me, Thunder Bunny.
Thunder Bunny.
It was I've still got it written on my little whiteboard over here, and I'm like, man, I should really commission a plush maker to make me one at some point.
Yes. Yes. See, and eventually you can commission someone to make Thunder Bunny's arch nemesis.
Who would that be? The name flows so well with Thunder Bunny. I love the idea of an arch nemesis, but I'm trying to think of an animal's name that would be the opposite sound of bunny.
I guess we need more background.
Almost any of the other names that I can come up with immediately sound like a Mega Man X villain. Like Ice Penguin or something. Like, no, that doesn't flow.
No, it'd be someone else at the pet shop. It'd be like
it could be a Daring Do episode, but we have Angel Bunny and the other pets starring. Thunder Bunny. I'm all about Thunder Bunny. I admit this. But yes, I keep a notebook next to my bed. None of them have been as good as Thunder Bunny, but I'm hoping that a sequel will come someday.
Just give it time.
Yep. Thunder Bunny sequel will be coming. Return of Thunder Bunny, Clapping Boom 2.
The Thumpening.
Love it. Thumpening. Well, one of the more recent picks that you've done, like really recent, Luna. You did a Luna looking at the sun.
Oh, yeah.
And I think you said it was a speed painting.
Well, yeah, it was meant to be. That's how it started, and then, and it's kind of sad to admit it when you're looking at it. It's like, well, that was not speedy at all, but but in a way, it was my first painting, so I can't fault it too much.
I think it looks beautiful. It really does.
I'll let it sit on its own for other people to judge. I've always worked with flat color, partially just because I'm a graphic designer, so I understand it. And I would do things like simple gradients or overlays or other types of fancy vectorial graphics. Sure. But in the end, it would all be based on flat color.
Okay.
And so lately, I've decided to put the mouse down and pick up the stylus and actually learn how to paint.
Oh, okay.
And so that was kind of like my first little foray into, okay, this doesn't have to have line work to make sense.
Sure.
And even though I used a little bit of line work in it, I understand now that, okay, this can happen, this can be a thing, and it's something, but more importantly, it's something that I can do.
Right.
And if I practice in another 10 years or so, I'll be good at it. But hopefully, sooner or later, I'm working on another one right now.
Oh, okay. Another speed one?
Yeah. Because I have these little snippets of time. Like I'll work a couple of minutes before I go to work. And then if I come home from lunch, I'll work on it then. And then so it'll take me like all week, but I'll probably only spend an hour on them.
I absolutely understand this, and I know I know it's not anywhere close to making art, but used to be before this show that I would have quite a bit of free time, so I was able to play Skyrim for a long periods of time. Now I can do about 20 minutes at a time, so I'm like, okay, today I have time to smith a few items and sell them, and then go back to the house and save it. Okay, that's it.
That's how I play MMOs.
Yeah.
That's how I play World of Warcraft and Guild Wars.
Well, actually, that's a good lead-in. Something that was on your DeviantArt. Was that a legitimate letter from the Guildmaster?
Oh, that it's actually it's a collection.
Okay.
Of multiple guild kickings. Based on all the things that were there. So they weren't all from the same person.
Okay.
And I just collected all the reasons into one letter.
Okay.
And it's like, this has been my experience with WoW guilds. When you're not a college kid and you don't have the type of time, the linear time to just drop on it,
Yeah.
which a lot of guilds want you to have.
Right.
And so, or a lot of time, the way I role play online, I've been told I get wordy.
Okay.
And I'm trying to see, and I'm thinking, I grew up with writers like Jack Vance and H.P. Lovecraft, and those were people that are very wordy.
Yes.
They take a very long time to get where they're going. And to me, I'm like this very abbreviated role player. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to stick to exactly what is necessary to make this, my action work.
Right.
But, I'd get responses back that were like text speak.
Okay.
And it's not completely typical of my experience with World of Warcraft or anything, but it's over the years of playing, those were my favorite reasons for being dropped from a guild.
Yeah. So if you can't read it right now, first reason is spect. Oh god, was it actually spect?
Yes.
Oh lord. We spect, not expect, or pre-spect or respect, but spect all guild members to be online for at least 5 hours every evening for raiding in arenas. You manage 3 hours every other evening. Other members complaining that your RP is not hardcore enough.
Yeah, I still don't actually know what that means.
The only thing I can think of is that you had to imitate Bubbles more.
That could work. I probably would have fit in better.
Would have been funny to have one. I don't know if you can do clips, but just have one character who's only speaks in Terra Strong clips. There are enough of them where I'm pretty sure you could get by. Just have like this library next to you and have it be voice recognition where you say, "I'm hardcore." I'm hardcore.
I assume they were talking about lore.
Okay.
But I'm just guessing. I have no idea. They never explain.
My advice for future: quit being so wordy and get to point quick. Nobody likes having to read 2 or 3 sentences every time you post. Good luck and thanks for all the crafted items in the guild bank.
Yeah. That was my own little butthurt part. It's like, yeah, come on. I dropped some really nice bags in there. You're just going to boot me? Okay.
That's a shame. Well, and you mentioned it to me before we started, but you're working on a design for an MMO coming up.
Yeah. So if not, if being into ponies wasn't geeky enough for you, I've been working on a character for a game that's not even out yet.
Okay.
So it's the MMO WildStar Online.
Okay.
And their feel and their look and just the general attitude of the game and that they've shown in videos and clips, it's just so entertaining and so nice and different from, we're going to drop you in this world that's all war all the time. And World of Warcraft, where everything's bad 24/7. But yet still vaguely candy colored and pretty and
okay. But
this is like a game. I mean, it's a game that obviously you guys can go look up who are listening. I hope someone's going to listen to this. But it's kind of like Pixar meets anime meets webcomic, kind like American U.S. webcomic look, and it's got a very Disney feel.
Okay.
As far as the aesthetic goes,
right?
And it's a real kick in the pants, and they've done such a great job at their social media aspect and generating interest in the game. And I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff, and so I got sucked into it like really, really hard.
Okay. And I have to say, I'm quite proud that you at least considered the name that I suggested.
Oh, I flat out used it. Glad I used it.
Yep.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it was such a great name, and it's short. I like short names for characters, and I just really enjoyed it.
It's very vowel-y, but yes, I like it.
Yeah, but it works, and it has a nice, and for those of you who are into typography, you'll know exactly what I mean. It has a nice flow visually when you see the letters typed out, and so it's got a nice mix of
if it
wide.
had been a boy, I would have suggested Aoi, AOI. Would have been less consonants, but Airi is good at anyway.
Yeah, no, I loved it. It was a perfect name.
Yeah. And Sap Springer is the last name?
Yep.
Okay.
Because I couldn't think of the last name either, and my wife just spit it out, and it's like, perfect. There you go. There's my character.
Looks like the first iteration was Aurin Spellslinger.
Yeah, the race of the vaguely animalish bunny people they're called the Aurin.
Oh, okay, Aurin. Okay.
And a Spellslinger is a type of character class in the game.
Oh, I see. I apologize. I misunderstood. I thought that was the first name that you chose for was Aurin Spellslinger.
Oh, no.
Because it has almost a similar flow to Aurin Spellslinger, Airi Sapspringer.
I didn't think about it that way, but yes. That's probably why it resonated in my head so well.
Yay, good.
But that's a class in the game. And they're kind of I feel like I'm selling you this game on your show.
But, as long as I get a cut, it's no problem.
Yeah, right. No. Stop me if I go too far. But yeah, they're kind of Old West gunslinger meets mage.
Okay.
Kind of class, and this looked really fun. So
I'm imagining Outlaw Star.
I have mentioned this to several people, and it's cool. I'm glad you mentioned it too, because I loved that show.
So did I. Very much.
It was so much fun. And when I very first saw WildStar Online, like one of the videos, the introduction video had a Spellslinger in it, and I was immediately thinking of that anime. I'm like, did they watch that show? Because
it's pretty similar. Outlaw Star, Star.
It's very, very similar. Very, very similar.
It might be a coincidence. It has happened before, but you know what? We're going to accept it as being canon because that's our heads. That's
right. That is right. And game headcanon is the best headcanon there is.
Absolutely.
Especially for one that hasn't come out. It's just tears and disappointment from here on out.
You never know. It's possible that it will wow the socks off of us and we'll have to go buy new socks.
That'd be good.
It might happen.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to see a game that if you pre-order it, it comes with a pair of socks.
You're gonna need these.
Yeah, we're gonna wow your socks off. Here's an extra pair on us.
I like that.
Wouldn't that? I mean, that would just stick in your mind forever.
It's that right amount of cheesy, but right, it would be legendary.
Yeah.
Everyone would reference that game.
Yep. You remember when we got that pair of socks? Oh yeah, that was fun.
I forgot what the game was called. A long time ago, there was the text-based game. I don't think it was called NetHack, but it was something like that. And you played a hacker, and you received a manual and the game, and you were able to install it, but it immediately wants a license key, but it doesn't give you one. And so it's kind of the litmus test for this game is not for you.
Right.
If you can't get past this first part, the install.
Interesting.
And that stuck with me all this time. I'm like, it's the perfect thing for a hacker game.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you don't think that way, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, very true.
I was kind of screwed because I didn't have any other friends that played it at the time, and so I couldn't be like, okay, how do you do this? Yeah. I know the secret's in the manual somewhere, but I just can't figure it. I can't break the code, man.
I cannot tell you how long it took me to get past that one part in Metal Gear. Metal Gear Solid. I don't know if you played the game, but you reminded me of it. There's one point in there where you're supposed to call someone on your radio, but nobody in the game will tell you any of the frequencies. And if you ask your boss, if you ask your boss, he'll say it's on the box.
It's on the box.
And if you get out your original box art and turn it on the back, it has a picture of your character talking to the character you want to talk to with the frequency right there.
Oh, wow.
And it looks like it's just a random screenshot from the game, but no, it was the code so that if you pirated that copy of the game, you wouldn't have that box art and you would be stuck there.
That's clever.
It was genius!
That is clever.
But it took me forever! Because I was like, I don't know where the box is. My mom cleaned the room.
See, and then it feels like a real victory.
Yeah.
It really does feel like you've accomplished something other than just doing that part of the game over and over again until you don't die.
Yep. Well, I'd like to mention, if we could, I know of at least 2 projects that you've been on that have stopped work.
Yes.
One of them, I think it might have been the first time I interacted with you, was we're doing a Ask Princess Cadence, or Dear Princess Cadence.
Oh, yeah. My Bad Advice blog.
I think that was the first time we interacted, because you were doing a live stream on it.
Oh.
And Joy and I were, like, giving suggestions for her little Ladybug's Awake version of how do we break somebody's heart.
Yes, that's right, the poem. That was awesome.
Heart stomp, gloom and doom for sure. Crush those feelings, it's the only cure. Stompity, stomp, stomp, stomp.
Yeah, all of those projects came out of those initial Skype calls.
Oh, okay, all right.
And it started because RJ Sketch on Twitter and DeviantArt, and he also is a pony artist, and he will act like he's not, but he totally is, and he's really good. And we had known each other through furry fandom, but never really connected. And finally one day, he just said, "Let's get together via Skype and talk." And so we started talking via Skype, and I found out what Skype was all about, and learned the pain and misery of that. And we had such a great conversation, we decided to do it again. And so we started inviting people.
Right.
And then it was at the same time the whole pony thing was happening, and so we would just naturally talk about this new show we love.
Right.
And then we got more people that were into pony into it. They were into my MLP, and it became a thing. And then we're just like, well, we'd have all these lulls in conversation because we were still a pretty small group at that time. And I just thought, well, there's this live stream thing. We could watch shows, maybe, or find a way to do that. And that never really worked out because the screen resolution is so low res via live stream, unless you have like a home T1 account.
Right.
But I started doing art again at the same time, and so I decided to just try that, see if it worked. And it kind of took off, and I did at first I did request stuff from people in the call, and I'm a huge H.P. Lovecraft fan.
Yep.
I am the fanboy of the Man from Providence. So I decided to do I don't know my internet rules very well. I decided to do a female version of H.P. Lovecraft. And then so I started drawing that just for the fun of it, and someone had pointed.
Was this female, or was this before the pony one, or?
No, this was the pony one.
Okay, yeah. So
it's the only one.
Lovecraft.
Right, and so I just started drawing it, and someone else pointed me to, I think it was one of JJ's Ask Tumblr things.
Okay.
And so he's like, you should do something like this for that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just started doing it. And I roped in my friends to help write it and whoever was in the call.
Right, right.
So it was this kind of crowdsourced thing. And people started asking, and then, people actually started watching the blog and asking questions. And so we did that for a while. And then I had this idea that Cadence was supposed to be the princess of love. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what if her advice was all really terrible? Like, it was like the last thing you should do. And, she's this horrible person that's never actually been in love because she uses magic to make people love each other in the show. And so I thought, what if that's all she's got? What if?
Oh dear.
What if that's really all it is, and people don't know it because they've all been, they've all got the whammy.
Right.
And so I started a blog like that, and then I met you guys, and you guys helped you and enjoy and.
But since that time, I know that Dear Princess Cadence is down, and HB Hoofcraft has stopped.
Yes.
And I'm assuming it's just time became a factor.
Time, yeah. It's a lot of work.
Oh, sure.
It's more work than I thought it was going to be when I started. Mm-hmm. And I realized that I couldn't do other things and still keep the pace.
Right.
With the Ask blogs. Mm-hmm. And so I overbit.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can do this. I have infinite energy to do pony stuff. And then I'm like, oh my god, I'm old. I forgot.
No, I follow. Yeah.
And so that's pretty much what happened there.
Nice.
And then the calls got so big.
Yeah.
And so many people in it that a lot of the people that we started doing the calls for started getting uncomfortable, and they didn't really feel like they could interact.
Sure. Because
there was just it wasn't like people were rude or nasty or anything. It was just so many people.
Right.
In a Skype call. At times it was like a wall of mud. And you couldn't really discern who was talking or what, and the little icons in the Skype would just be like
Christmas lights.
Yeah. It was really tough. And so we kind of let that go too, which is sad because I really want to start doing that again because it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But it's tough. It's a tough one because you're still friends with all the people that made the call big.
Exactly. Yeah, and I can
we
partially relate on Twitter. I recently had to stop following a bunch of people. And it's not that I dislike them at all. I do like them. It's just I would wake up and there'd be like 800 missed tweets.
Right.
And I'd be like, I do not have this much time in the morning to go through even a half of these. And honestly, if I'm not reading somebody's tweets, why am I following them?
Right.
Some people have the mute function, and if you want to do that, fine. But it's not for me. If I'm following you, I want to read what you've written any day that you read it. And so I just had to go back and all right, I'm sorry, I like you, but I can't follow you on Twitter anymore. Yes.
When I first got on when I first got into pony fandom, I followed everybody. Mm-hmm. And quickly realized that this is not going to work.
Yeah.
Because I tried making friends lists and stuff, but then all I really did was end up only looking at the family list or the personal friend, like people I've actually met in person list.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, if I'm just doing that, I may as well just not follow these other people.
Yeah, exactly. And I insist, anybody who's following me, if it gets to the point where I'm tweeting too much, spamming your timeline, or just to the point where you're never reading my stuff, just unfollow me. It's no problem.
Yeah, it's cool.
I am very honored that so many people chose to follow me, but I don't get paid for it, and it's not an ego problem for me if I don't have them.
Definitely. I mean, that's what it is.
Yep. Well, a question that I ask in each of my interviews, in all of My Little Pony, what would you say is the one line or one scene that defines you as a brony?
Oh, jeez. The two episodes that come to mind.
Okay.
Is the one that got me into it,
Mm-hmm.
which is Suited for Success.
Oh, good one.
Because, like, I am sure, like a lot of people who come from an art background,
Mm-hmm.
any kind of art background, whether any part of it that you're doing commercially, it was the perfect example of my day at work. Because that's what it is. You spend all this time making these beautiful things for people, and they come in to look at their proof, and you have your little graphics meeting with them, and they're like, no, these, I don't like your font choice. I don't like this. I don't like that. And then the other ones are like, I don't like it, but I don't know why. And so I need you to change all these things, but I don't really know what I want to change them to. Just use your magical abilities and make it look nice. Yeah, and it's like that. Oh no, we're not gonna get
this. Indecision. All we really like is what we know. Got to balance style with adherence, making sure you make a good appearance. Even if you simply have to budget, make sure that it stays within our budget.
Yeah. It was my every day at work. That's what it's like for me. And so, nice. I couldn't believe it was in a show.
A show designed for kids, nonetheless.
I know. I was just like, they're preparing kids for the real world. This is amazing, And I still, I've shown it to other people. I've shown that episode to people whenever someone has asked, "What is the deal with this?" And I'm like, "Go watch this."
Yeah.
Even if you don't like the show, you'll understand why people like this, because there's an episode like this for everybody. Yeah. And just, I think it was that look as the progression of the alterations happened and Rarity gets more and more frumpy.
Yes. And
then, like, me on the weekend when she was having her meltdown and she couldn't figure out what to wallow in, I was like, and I've had those weekends.
Right.
Where I'm just like, oh my God, that client showed this piece to, they entered it into some design contest and then put my name on it. Oh dear. And which is something that's happened to me. Uh-huh. And I got this nice little rejection letter, and I'm like, what is this even about? Yeah. And they're like, but it doesn't meet our standards. And I'm like, and so I'm trying to figure out, and it came to me at work. Oh. And I'm just like, I don't even know what's going on here. And it turns out a client had sent it off to the Apex design competition that they do every year. And
I'm guessing not your original idea either.
Oh, no part of it was.
The edited version.
Well, it was weird. It's like a lot of that stuff. It's you're a pair of hands, right, to clients, and you're only there because you know how to use Illustrator and InDesign, and that's your sole purpose for being any part of the creative process.
Right. Okay.
They come back and they're like, well, our focus group said X, so we're going to do X. And I'm like, oh, okay. After a while, you're just like, hey, it's going to cost you an extra $600. And as long as you sign off on it, I'll do whatever you want. Yeah. I'll make you guys look as ugly as you want to be.
But I think it's very easy to see why so many artists develop pseudonyms.
Yes. Yes.
Stuff I like, I submit under my name. Stuff that I don't like, I submit under this name.
Yeah. Well, I've been lucky that I've been able to do that with, no, it's just the design firm I work for. Yeah. It's like I just put it out there and we'll see what they say about that. And then it comes back on whoever I happen to have been working for at the time. Mm-hmm. And it's funny, I've actually given up the whole trying to be a prestigious designer. Okay. Because I've done that. Mm-hmm. And I've had the award. I've won the awards.
Nice.
Yeah, I have work in some scary places. Okay. That is scary. I mean, like I have work that was in the Seattle Rockport Design Annual. Okay. And which is, if you're in the field, it's a big deal.
Sure.
It's a big deal. And so I have a couple of those things, but the stress was so high.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone thinks, "Oh my God, this is such a prestigious thing for you," and it's like it's not.
Yeah.
It really isn't, and the pay isn't that great.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The design firm owners, yes, very much so. But just doing the work and coming up with the ideas and stuff, no, it doesn't pay out that well.
Yeah.
And so I work at a print shop now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a very big print shop, and we make books, and so that's what I do now. I lay out books.
Mm-hmm.
But I have so much more fun.
That's good.
Now that it's just been stripped away of all the stuff I thought was going to be great.
Sure.
Is gone away, and now I personally know the owner of the company I work for.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. I know it's not the exact same thing, but when I started in Japan, I worked for the largest English chain in the country, and I was making really good money. Even right now, I'm not. I'm making a good 30% less now than I did 12 years ago. But man, that working in that chain was horrible.
Yes.
Nobody cared how you taught or how the students learned. It was just get them to come back.
Right.
And, if we would have suggestions for new ideas, it'd be like, okay, well, no, don't do that. And I got in trouble with my boss because I wasn't willing to wear a suit jacket in to teach a group of 3-year-olds who ran around for 40 minutes. I was like, because I had to teach adults immediately afterwards. And then I put on my suit jacket. But I'm like, if I'm in with the kids and I'm wearing a suit jacket, I'm going to come out in a drenched suit jacket. I'm not wearing it when I'm teaching these kids who don't care.
Yeah.
Well, it's not professional. Yes, it is. It's professional to the people who come after.
Well, see, it is actually, it's exactly the same.
Okay.
Because even if the industry is different, it's the exact same concept.
Sure.
I
recall very specifically doing student reports, we had to fill in little circles. I bought circle stickers, and I used those because they were colorful and pretty. And my boss made me redo it twice because she didn't like how the stickers looked. I had to go back and get a pen and fill them in, and then fill them in again because I used the wrong color pen.
Oh my gosh.
And now I'm in a small school. I have almost complete creative control as long as we teach the English. I make a lot less money, but I don't hate waking up.
Yeah. I had a job where the stress level was so high that I actually developed a type of acid reflux.
Oh wow.
That magically went away.
I believe it.
When I quit. I mean, there were times when I'd have to pull over on my commute home just to throw up.
Oh wow.
And
yeah, I had intense foot and arch pain that is gone now.
Yeah. Stress does a lot to you.
Yep.
And it sneaks up on you too, and you don't realize it's happening until it's too late.
Well, I compare it to rust. In that if you have some, it's not going to hurt you very much. But the longer and the more you have, the more it eats away at the support that you don't know is happening. Until one day your whole freaking bridge collapses.
Yes. I am lucky I haven't had like a real honest to God breakdown.
That's good.
I never had one of those because I do have a healthy sense of aloofness.
That's good.
Where I'm just like, well, yeah, I don't get to make pretty things, but I'm getting paid to make what they want.
Yeah.
And as long as they leave happy, that's really what my job is.
Gotcha.
And I just, and then I go home on the weekend and I'll make pretty stuff for myself.
There you go.
Or my friends or whatever. And and so it kind of takes a while to get over that. I'm out of school. I'm going to make really great art. And no, no one wants that. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
And then, but you just, after a while, you get to the point where you can let it go.
And I think a lot of people who are still in school or in university you might feel that what we're talking about here is like giving up your dreams. No, it's not. It's not. Not at all. It's realizing that your dream wasn't really your dream.
Yes. And if any of you listening are in design school right now, You're getting to make tons of cool looking stuff. Relish it. Mm-hmm. Just wallow in it as much as you possibly can, because when you get out, it's over.
Hate to be doom and gloom like that, but yeah, probably.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do some things that will just curdle your blood creatively, and you're gonna smile and like it, and get that paycheck at the end of the week.
Yep, quite a few times a large argument with the Japanese staff where I said they're not good at English. She can't remember how to say her name and how to ask for her name, and the response would be, "You're going to level her up so she can go to the next level of the book, or she's going to quit." Like, but she's terrible. I don't care. Okay, fine. Yay, you passed the English test because you recognized that I was speaking to you. Great. Now go and... Yep.
I'm not laughing at you.
No. I'm laughing at my past self as well, because it was at the time, very infuriating, but now it's like, yeah.
It's like Vietnam flashbacks. Like, you didn't know who the enemy was. But yeah, so I mean, back to Pony. I know it connects, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, Suited for Success was really, that was like the defining moment of, my friend Jared showed me that episode because he knew.
Right.
He knew. By the time Pony had come out, we had actually worked at one of the same companies.
Oh, okay.
And he had witnessed it.
Right.
And so he's like, "No, I know exactly what episode I'm going to show you first. It's going to be this one, and you're going to love it. And then we're gonna roll in ponies for a long time." And he was right. It worked out. So, absolutely. And then the other one that comes to mind is season 2, Luna Eclipsed.
Oh, good one. Very nice.
Because she's just so awkward, and I feel like that when I go to PonyCons.
Okay.
Because there's a kind of community vernacular.
Okay.
That happens. And now that I've been to a couple of conventions, I see it, and I kind of got the hang of it now. Right. But those first ones, I'm just like, hey, I'm this guy on the internet. And everyone's like, this is great, whatever. And so I really felt like it really feels like what Luna experienced.
Sure. Trying her best, but turns out what she thought was the proper way to introduce herself made everybody go, okay, we're going away now.
Yeah. This works at NorwestCon. I don't know what's going on.
Well, everybody, today we have been speaking with Lilytrader. Thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Be sure to check him out on Twitter and DeviantArt, and you can check the back posts of the HP Hoofcraft if you'd like.
Yep, they're still up.
Everybody, this has been Into the Spotlight with Osaka Jack on Everfree Network. Catch you next time.